Seriously, I almost cried, you guys. I was like, you touched my soul. Can I marry you? Hi everybody, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another mukbang slash eating show. Woohoo! You know what I'm gonna say, you guys? I'm gonna say I am super excited. Let me just turn this thing off. It is so loud. Today I am super duper excited. You know I say this every time, but every time I am very much excited. Today I'm so excited to share with you guys this delicious Korean stew. This is called soft tofu stew, my friends. Literally mouth just watered. This is Korean soft tofu stew, also known as SOONDUBU JJIGAE. Soon is like soft, dubu is tofu, jjigae is stew. There you go. There is your Korean lesson for the day. It is soft tofu stew. It is one of the best things ever. And seriously, my mouth is, it's like a waterfall right now. I already have a recipe video on this, on how to make this. This is super duper simple, guys. It is so easy to make. It's also low calorie. Like, this is very healthy. I know it looks like a lot of food, guys, but I mean, it is mostly vegetables, water, a few spices, not too cray-cray, a little bit of oil, and soft tofu. So this entire serving, I mean, I didn't count the calories, but I cannot imagine it being that much. The recipe that I used, it's pretty much exactly the same way that I made it in the video, which I will link down below. Except for that this time around, guys, I added one of my favorite things in the world, which is enoki mushrooms. Yes. So we've got soft tofu stew with enoki mushrooms. Oh my gosh, my hair. Hi there. So we've got soft tofu stew, SOONDUBU JJIGAE with enoki mushrooms, and I'm just going to be eating with you guys and chatting. This is going to be part 2 of my, well, it's not part 2. I think this is my 3rd video where I talk about my trip to Africa. So I'm going to talk about what happened when I was leaving. Just a little story time, nothing cray-cray, okay? Another one of those stories that I don't think is that interesting, but you know, I need something to talk about while I'm eating, so okay. If you didn't watch my last 2 mukbangs, I'll link those down below so you can watch the last 2 videos where I talk about my trip to Africa. But to sum it up, guys, I went to Kenya and Tanzania. The purpose of the trip was to go to the Serengeti, but I also ended up in Zanzibar, which is an island in Tanzania at the very end. Now, this is what happened after my trip was over, my tour was over, and I was trying to go home. So this is like one of those travel stories, one of those stressful moments that you have when you travel. Okay, so anyways, let me just turn this on and let's get started. Guys, I've been doing so many mukbangs nowadays and it makes me happy. Oh, I also have some, of course, homemade vegan kimchi. I did not make this. This is my mama's, but I do have a recipe video on how to make vegan kimchi from scratch, authentic AF. My mom has over 30 years of experience making kimchi, and her vegan kimchi, guys, it is so good, okay? Anyways, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So Koreans love stew. I don't know what it is about stew, okay, but Koreans love stew. Oh, whew, that has a kick to it. Oh, so good. Oh my god, I love this stew. Seriously, this is weight loss food. I always say this. Enoki mushroom, let's get started with that. I'm gonna turn this down. Just gonna get enoki mushroom bite. I have rice avi. This is a soft tofu. So this is extra soft tofu. I love extra soft tofu. It's so good. It's just so soft and custardy and so good. Hell yeah. Anyways, so the last mukbang I did, I talked about kind of when I got, you know what, you just watch that one, okay? So I talked about some of the, just a couple of unfortunate events that happened on my last day of my tour, you know, but I survived, okay? And then we basically said goodbye, and I actually had a couple more days left in Zanzibar by myself. was kind of excited because it was like my chance to relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the whole trip, why is this not bubbling? Because the whole trip was so just like activity filled. You know, a lot of moving around, a lot of driving around, you know, waking up at 5 in the morning to go see the lions, you know, not complaining. It was great. But by the end of the trip, I was tired. I was exhausted. So I was very much looking forward to relaxing. And it was actually going to be my birthday on the final day of me leaving, if that makes sense. So I was very excited to chillax by myself. So I actually ended up booking an accommodation on the south part of the island of Zanzibar. I can't remember what that area was called. I booked this accommodation and I ended up going there, and it was in such a secluded area. It literally just felt like I was just going through to the middle of nowhere, and I ended up in this beautiful area right by the coast, and there were these bungalows. It was just gorgeous. I'm gonna see if I can insert some footage here.
What you doing? Hello, darling. I know it's hot. You are so cute.
I'm gonna have some more tofu. Oh my god. Oh, this is so good. Kimchi. So, I got to this area. It was so beautiful. It literally just felt like paradise. You know what I mean? Like a secluded paradise. I felt like I could just get away from the world, you know, the harshness of the world. Yeah, basically you couldn't even really leave, because if you wanted to leave, you had to like drive out, and like even when you drive, you have to go quite far to like reach civilization, kind of. That's what it felt like. It was so nice. This was like my chance to just like, you know, relax and do absolutely nothing for, I think I booked it for 2 nights. So I had about 1.5 days of like relaxation. So I had 1 full day planned where I would just get up and relax all day and then go to bed, and that was perfect. I was actually gonna maybe book a tour that day because they had like these boat tours, but I was like, you know what? I just want to relax. So I relaxed. If you watch my last mukbang video, you know, you know that I broke my phone right before I ended the tour. So I broke my phone. So I basically had like no communication with the world. I luckily had my Kindle, my Amazon Kindle Fire or whatever it's called, which has access to internet, although it's very slow and it's just not really like the best device to like browse or anything like that. So it's actually good for me because I actually did a lot of reading and just pure, you know, doing nothing. It was wonderful. Oh my gosh, guys. Whew. Okay. Tofu. So people were like, isn't your mouth burning? I'm like, yes it is. I kind of like the pain. Anyways. So everything was fine. I stayed there. It was really nice and relaxing. Watched the sunset, drank a couple beers, didn't do anything crazy, just read, chilled by the pool, went swimming, all of that good stuff. I feel like if I were like a celebrity and I wanted to get away from the world, that is where I would go, you know? I was chillaxed, everything was fine. I spent all of my Zanzibar money. Okay, actually, no, I spent all my money. I didn't have Zanzibar money. Maybe I did. Not Zanzibar money, Tanzania money. I had some US dollars. That's what I had. I had cash in US dollars. I spent all of it at the resort because I was like, well, I mean, I don't really need it anymore, so it's fine. And my plan was to fly into Nairobi, which is in Kenya. That's where I flew into. Fly into Nairobi and then fly back to Canada via, what was mine? I think Frankfurt. So it was October 7th. That was the day I was flying out of Zanzibar into Nairobi. And I remember it's October 7th because October 7th is my birthday. So on my, homegirl, I'm trying to record. So on the day of my birthday, I'm very relaxed. My flight is not until a bit later. So I'm just kind of chilling a little bit, having a great time. And then I booked a car to take me to the airport. I checked in my bag and I got on the plane to Nairobi. Now I'm flying from Tanzania, the country, into Kenya, the country. So these are two countries. Now I remember when I came in, I purchased a transit visa in Kenya because I wasn't really staying in Kenya. I was going pretty much straight into Tanzania. So I didn't need to get a full-on single entry visa. So I just got a transit visa that basically allowed me to transit out of Kenya. But I read before that if you don't leave the airport in Kenya, you don't have to buy any sort of visa because you're just going straight into another plane. You're just transferring into another plane. So it's totally fine. Or so I thought. This is a little note for those of you that might be traveling, especially to countries that are like developing countries. Keep a bit of cash with you, okay? I'll tell you why in a second. Load. So I got to Nairobi, right? Like, you know, I've got plenty of time. I got like 4 hours or something. I'm like, what am I gonna do for 4 hours? Well. Wow. I get to Nairobi, I get off the airplane, and then immediately I see a sign for baggage claim. So I'm like, okay, I need to go to baggage claim. But the thing is, you have to go through customs to get to baggage claim. I don't know why I didn't even think about this, but basically, I got to customs and I talked to somebody. I was a bit confused. I was like, do I go through transfers or do I go to get baggage claim? Because I don't really want to go through customs because I'm not entering Kenya. I went to talk to somebody and I said, listen, I've got baggage that I need to pick up because I checked in my baggage, but I need to transfer to a different flight and I don't have a visa to enter Kenya, so this makes no sense to me. And they said to me, they're like, you still need to get a transit visa to enter Kenya. And I was like, girl, what? I was like, but I just need to grab my baggage. Like, all I need is my bag. I can like see the baggage claim right there. I need to just grab my bag. Can someone from the flight or something just help me grab my bag? All I need is my bag. That's all I need. And I can go straight into my transfer and everything will be fine and dandy. But then this lady, she's like not having it. She's like, I don't give a shit about your problem, okay? So she's just like, whatever. So she's like, you still have to pay. You still have to pay. I was like, fine, whatever, that's fine. I asked somebody else. He said the same thing. And then I swear to God, some lady in front of me, some British lady, she had the same situation as me and they just let her through, I swear. But anyway, that's just a different story, okay? And then, guys, I went to the customs guy. I tried to like explain to him my situation. He was not having it. He's like, you still have to pay. I was like, fine, I'll pay, whatever. I just need to get there. It was like $20 US, right? Sure, I'll pay. Do you take credit card? And of course, what do you think the answer is? The answer is no. Basically, they just told me that they don't take anything but cash. And what did I tell you guys? I had no more cash. I was like, what? I was like, you want me to pay? I want to pay, but you don't take credit card. My bag is out there. All I need is my bag. How, like, what, where, like, can someone grab me my bag? But, you know, I understand. It's an airport. They have strict rules. I get it. Anyways, I was like, what do I do? I didn't really know what to do because I was like, I don't have cash. I don't have any, like, I have nothing. So then I went up to this other guy. So I got out of the freaking customs line. Oh my gosh, that I waited forever for. And then I went up to this dude that looked like he knew what he was doing, okay? I went up to him and I told him my situation. And I said, I don't have cash. I only have my credit card. What do I do? And then he says, okay, there's an ATM just right there, just like a couple minutes just down that way. So you can take money out there. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll take money out there. He could not be swayed. I was like, can I just grab my bag? He's like, you're talking about international law. I was like, okay, fine. Touche. So then I was like, okay, fine. I'll go. My attempt at saving 20 US dollars failed. So I went to the ATM, okay? Put in my card. I have a US account, so I just put in my US card. Selected 20 US dollars. And it says, cash not available. Basically, it was saying the transaction did not work. And then I was like, oh, is it my card? Did my card get frozen? So I have like multiple other cards. So I tried it with every single card. I think I had 3 or 4 cards that I tried it with, none of which worked. So at this point, I'm like, what? I was almost sure that it was the machine, but like I wasn't positive, you know what I mean? Because I mean, I didn't really use most of my cards during this trip because I had cash with me. So I wasn't really fully sure if it was the machine or my cards, but I assumed it was the machine since none of my cards worked. So then I'm slightly freaking out at this point. I talked to somebody else and I told them my situation again. I was like, can I just get my bag? And then somebody was like, you probably need to talk to your airline staff or like the people that work in the airline. And I can't remember what airline I flew. Oh yeah, they were like, you probably should talk to the airline staff from the airline that you're about to transfer to. And I was like, that kind of makes no sense, but that's what somebody told me. So people are just like kind of throwing me into places, you know what I mean? Like they're just telling me go here and then go here and then go here. Because first I went to the airline, the original airline that I was flying. I went there and then I was like, I told them my situation and then they told me to go to KLM, which is not KLM. I think it was KLM. No, Lufthansa. That was my flight. KLM, what the hell's KLM? Anyways, so they're like, yeah, go to Lufthansa and then talk to them. Maybe they can do something. So they told me to go to the gate. Halfway through, I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done this. I was like regretting all of my decisions because I felt like I was going to like a totally different terminal at the airport. So I basically got there finally after like probably 10 or 15 minutes of me panicking, like almost in tears at this point. I mean, I can talk about it like right now nonchalantly, but at that time it was very stressful. I was like, can I leave this country? Will they allow me to leave? What happens if none of my cards work? I don't have any cash. I can't get my baggage. Like, do I just need to leave my baggage and just go? Like, what do I need to do? I was actually contemplating on just leaving my baggage because there wasn't really like that much, you know, valuable things in there. So I was like, maybe I should just leave it. Is this even worth it? Oh my God, this is so good. So then, after trekking to what felt like China, I finally got to the terminal or the gate of which is my next flight. So I talked to them, I told them my situation, and of course they tell me I still need to get through customs, okay? So then I'm like, oh my God, okay, well then where do you have an ATM? Because people just have been throwing me around places and all I need is an ATM that works. Okay, that is all I need at this point. I will go through customs, I will do whatever. Just get me to a working ATM. So somebody says, okay, you go here, the ATM again does not work, okay? So then I'm freaking out even more. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the customs, what do you call it? The customs border. So then I decided, okay, I need to find the customs border again. Now, you don't know this about me, but I have no sense of direction, okay? I have zero sense of direction. If I came from one place, I will never know that that's with that place I came from, okay? Especially when I'm in a state of panic. So I forgot where I came from, so I was like, okay, I need to find the border, and along the way, maybe I'll find an ATM. So I talked to some guy, I was like, where's the border? And then he pointed me toward some direction. And then I just assumed that that was the border I came from. So I walked that way, and then of course it doesn't look like the same border. It looks like a different customs border because, like I told you, I walked very far to get to the gate. So obviously he directed me to the border that was closest at that point. Okay, so it was a different terminal. I got there, and then finally, there's an ATM. Okay, so then this ATM finally works. Okay, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord Jesus, thank you. So I take out the money, whatever I need, and I get to this border. Now, luckily, there had been no flights, so the border was empty. So I went straight up to the front, and I was speaking to this lady. This lady, guys, I swear to God, I think this lady was my guardian angel, okay? Everyone else that I had come across before this, they weren't like rude per se, but you could tell they just don't give a rat's ass. You know what I mean? They were just like, I don't care about your situation. Not only that, they also gave me terrible advice. They made me run around the airport like a crazy person for no reason. It's hot, guys, it's hot. This lady was just so nice to me from the beginning. She was just like, oh, what did she say? She said something nice, and then I was like, oh my gosh, someone cares. Homegirl's she's making conversation, and she asked me, where did you come from? Like, which flight? And I told her my situation. So she's like, what did she say? She's like, what are you gonna do in Kenya? I was like, nothing. I'm just grabbing my bag and I'm gonna come back in. Anyway, she sympathized for me. I still had to pay the $20, but whatever. At this point, I was like, I don't care. Take 100 if you need to, okay? So I explained to her the situation. I paid the 100, or the 20. And she's like, okay, so like, do you know where you need to go? And I was like, I have no idea. Because I have no idea where I am. I don't know which terminal I am. I have no idea where, like, what is going on. And then she starts talking to her colleagues because, like I told you, she's my guardian angel. I'm gonna eat this all, guys. Oh my God. Like, I'm about to cry, okay? But she's being so nice, and she starts talking to her colleagues in Swahili. They talk for so long, right? I was like, what is going on? She's trying to, like, figure out where I need to go, okay, essentially. This lady does not need to help me, okay? She does not need to do anything for me. She can just let me go. You know what I'm saying? And then I can just figure it out on my own. But because she was my angel, she was, like, trying to help me. You know what I mean? Honestly, have you ever come across a border control officer that is like that? Because I have never, okay? Usually, they're a bunch of, I will not say the word, okay? But they are not very nice, usually, okay? But she was super nice, so she was, like, talking to her colleagues, and they're trying to figure out, like, where I need to go. I told them where I came from, which airline I need to go to, blah, 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 blah. So after about, like, 10 minutes of them speaking, and me half freaking out, because I was like, oh my gosh, do I need to go to, like, some other side? I don't know where I need to go. So after I'm freaking out, she finally goes, okay, I'm gonna go with you to get your luggage. And I was like, what? She's like, you don't have time otherwise, so I'm gonna go with you to grab your luggage. So she's like, okay, we're gonna run together. So we started running. Okay, we started running. This lady, I still remember how she looks like. She If I could send her flowers. She basically like ran with me. Seriously, I should have got her name or something. Oh my God. Anyway, she ran with me and she used her pass, okay? Because you know, she works at the airport, she's border control, so she has like passes to get through to places that normal people like me can't get through. So she's using her pass to like get through doors and basically take shortcuts to the original terminal that I was at earlier. So yes, I had gone to a totally different terminal at this point. So she uses her pass to get me through all of these things. So we're finally in the baggage claim area. Okay, so we had to leave the airport, go through a bunch of doors, and then we finally get to the other terminal, the previous terminal that I was in. And then we finally get to baggage claim at the original place that I could have just gotten the baggage claim. Anyways, finally get there. So we finally get to the baggage claim and I finally see my little red duffel bag that is tiny enough to actually fit into carry-on, but I decided to check it in because I cannot foresee future events. Because if I didn't check this in, I wouldn't have any of this issue. It's simply because I checked in that stupid bag that I had this issue, okay? That could have been full on carry-on. I didn't even have liquid that was above 100 mils. Anyways. It's besides the point. So I finally got my bag. She stayed with me until I found my bag. And I was just like, oh my God. Seriously, I almost cried, you guys. I was like, you touched my soul. I was like, thank you so much. You're the best. Can I marry you? So I finally get my bag. And then so she was like, okay, you need to go there to get into the terminal. You need to go through security again. And then you'll get into the terminal. So at this point, I had about 2 hours left. So I was like, okay, I still have enough time. Thank God. Okay, because I was like worried. You know how I said I had like 4 hours? I had spent like well over 1 hour trying to figure out my situation. So that's why I was like so distraught. You know what I'm saying? I was like freaking out because I was like, oh my God, I had plenty of time. But now I'm like, do I still have enough time? I was like, oh yeah, I have 2 hours. I check my clock. I check my phone. I have 2 hours. So I get to the place where I'm supposed to go into the terminal. And in Kenya, what I noticed, not just in Kenya, but Tanzania as well, what I noticed is that they actually do security checks from the outside into the airport. So from the outside, you still have to line up and go through security to get into the airport. So this line is from here to China. Everyone looks like they're moving to Europe or something because they have 50 million bags with them. And I'm just like, oh God, this is gonna take forever. But you know, I realized I still have 2 hours, so it's fine. But then there's a screen at the door that says like the next flights. So they showed like the next 3 flights that are about to go out. And I see my flight. Okay, so I see my flight number. I see it's going to Frankfurt. And I look at it and it says, now boarding. What in God's name? Did I look at the clock wrong? Did I look at the time wrong? Did I look at my phone wrong? I'm so full, guys, but for sure gonna finish this. So then I was like half panicking because I'm like, how is it now boarding? It is 2 hours, okay? You're supposed to get to the airport 2 hours before the flight. It cannot be boarding now, you know what I'm saying? So then I checked my phone, I checked my flights, I double checked everything, and it turns out it's still, I do have 2 hours. I was like, why are you lying to me? I swear to God, this airport just wants to mess me up, you know? They just wanted me panicking, okay? They had me running around from terminal to terminal. Just, you know, they just wanted me to panic. Essentially, okay. So I kind of calmed down. I'm like, you know what? It's probably just a glitch in the system. It's probably fine. So I get in and I do brush a little bit just in case. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in Kenya they do things differently. Maybe they board 2 hours in advance. Who the hell knows? So then I get to the gate that I'd already been to before, remember, because I was talking to those people. And then so I get into the waiting area. It was like one of those things where you like get through the gate and then there's like chairs and you wait there. And it turns out I still had to wait like an hour. So, excuse me, Lufthansa, What do you mean? What do you mean you were boarding 2 hours before the flight? Why you gotta lie? And just a reminder, guys, all of this happened on my birthday. You best believe when I got on that flight, I was so tired and I got myself a glass of wine because I was like, oh my god, I finished it. Oh my god, guys. Am I perfecting the art of mukbang? Did I legit just finish this just in time for the end of my story? Yeah, I did. You best believe it. Whew, guys. I honestly didn't think I was actually gonna finish this, but okay, hi. It's clean. Okay, it's clean. There's a little bit of soup, but I'm so full though. Here's what you need to remember. Volume of food does not equal the number of calories, okay? Something could look like it's a huge plate of food, and it could literally just be like, you know, 200 calories. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing to really keep in mind, because I've had people look at my plate of food and be like, that's like 3 meals. I'm like, bitch, that's only 500 calories. Bigger the food does not mean it's more calories, okay? So anyways, this is so good, guys. Highly recommend. It's so good. It's so easy to make, okay? Literally takes not much time at all. And it's also very easy to eat, as you can see. It's a little bit spicy. You can go easy on the spice if you want to. But as you know, us Koreans, we like to make pretty much everything spicy. So that is what we do. Anyways, so that was my story on how I almost got stuck in Kenya. Seriously though, I'm still thinking in my mind. I'm like, what if my cards actually didn't work? You know what I mean? Would I just be stranded in the Kenyan airport? Would I just be stranded in Nairobi forever? You know what I'm saying? So that is why I told you that when you go to especially a developing country, make sure A, you do your research on the visa situation. Here's the thing, another note. I think the reason why the reason why I had to leave the airport to get my bag is because I booked the flight separately. So the flight from Zanzibar to Nairobi, that flight was booked separately. So I didn't book it all in one go, because usually if you book it all together, what they do is they'll just transfer your bag over to your next flight so that you can just get your bag in your final destination. But because the tour that I went to already included the flight to Zanzibar, I didn't need to get a round trip flight. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying here? So that's why I booked the Zanzibar flight separately, but that's why I had to leave the airport to grab my bag first. Okay, so here are the lessons of the day from my mistakes. Okay. Number 1, always have some form of cash with you pretty much at all times, especially when you're traveling in a developing country that requires visas. Number 2, if you book the flights separately, remember that you will probably need to leave the airport to grab your bag to get onto your next flight. And therefore, number 3, make sure you have enough money for a visa to leave the airport. Okay. Or just don't check in your bag at all. Another lesson is don't listen to airport personnel. I mean, yeah. I just want to say, I know that you won't be watching this, but that lady at the airport, the border control officer, honestly, you saved my life, okay? I mean, in all seriousness, okay? I was very touched, okay? Just the kindness that she showed me and the way that she just went out of her way to help me when she did not have to, when legitimately everyone else just did not give a crap. They were just trying to get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? They were just telling me to go to places. But she was just so nice, and she just went out of her way to help me, and I wish I had her name. I wish I could talk to her boss and be like, she needs to be like head of this airport or something. Okay, anyways. So that is it, guys. That was my story. That is my mukbang. That is the soft tofu stew that I devoured. Okay, I won this one. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys enjoyed this mukbang. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this video. Oh, and if you made it this far to this video, what should you write in the comment section? Let me think. Thank you, border control officer. Is that weird? I mean, none of this is normal. Okay. Let's just write that because it's so confusing and it's so random. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to the lovely border control officer who I am still just still touched. So yeah, you can write down below so we can all thank the lovely border control lady right in the comment section. Thank you, border control lady. Or something along those lines, okay? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this mukbang. I hope you enjoyed this story. Let me know down below what your thoughts are as well. And also give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button. And like I mentioned, this recipe is already on my YouTube channel. I will link that video down below so you can try this out at home. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!